What's up, guys? I hope you had a blessed weekend, and in today's video I want to talk about whether Jesus was really God or not. I mean, after all, he never said the words, "I am God." But does that mean that he never indirectly claimed to be God? Or that he didn't show that he was God? And the answer to that is no. He did show that he was God. He did indirectly claim to be God, and I'll be going into that more in depth in today's video, so be sure and watch. And I pray that you all will be touched by this video. And I'm not gonna say this is absolute proof. I'm just gonna give you what I know, and you believe if you want to believe, and don't believe if you don't want to believe. I pray that you do, but in the end the choice is yours. So just hear me out, and I hope that you come to believe. But again, choice is yours, as you already know, of course. So something that I find really interesting is that people back then from completely different religions and didn't believe in even God at all realized that there was more to Jesus than meets the eye. They acknowledged that he did what they call magic, but what we know to be miracles, but they knew and they believed that he truly did do things that other people couldn't. So people that were completely opposed to him acknowledged that there was something more to him than meets the eye. So that should raise your curiosity, I would think, a little bit as to whether, well, maybe there is something more to Christ than what we might think. Maybe he is truly not just human. And another intriguing thing about Jesus is he did things that the Bible says that only God can do. He forgave sin, he healed people, he died for the sins of humanity. And that's something like in the book of Deuteronomy, I think, is where it mentions among several other places that God is the only one who can forgive sin, and that there is no one else that can. So if Jesus forgave sin and is able to forgive sin still, then that in itself should show that he has to be God, because only God can forgive sin, and he forgives it. He died for forgiveness of sin. And another thing about Jesus is he accepted the worship that was given to him. And a lot of you might be thinking, well, why wouldn't he? I mean, worship, popularity, who wouldn't want that? But the thing is, one of the New Testament laws was, if you claim to be God and you weren't God, you were going to be put to death. And Jesus knew that very well. He knew the Torah back to front, and he was a very observant Jewish person, so he knew full well that if he claimed to be God, he was going to be put to death, and yet he did so. Now, in order to do that, you would either have to truly know that you were God, or be insane. And considering the things he did to prove that he was God, I just can't believe the he was insane theory. I mean, Jesus didn't just give empty words. He proved who he was with actions, like I said, healing and forgiveness and all that. So he didn't just give empty words. Another extremely strong piece of evidence is his disciples, and basically everyone who believed in him was willing to die for their belief in him as God and as the Messiah. Now, people don't die for things they know to be a lie. People don't die for someone they think or know is insane. So the fact that they were willing to die torturous deaths, I think that gives it some merit that it should be looked into if you haven't. I mean, these people, they didn't just get shot and, die quickly. They died torturous and miserable deaths. And yet, even then, they didn't lose their faith in Jesus. That has to hold some kind of substantial merit. At least I would think. One more thing is the fulfillment of all the prophecies that were prophesied about him, and all the prophecies that he himself made about himself, such as him dying by crucifixion and being raised from death after 3 days of being in the grave. Now, no one can argue about the Old Testament prophecies that he read them so much that he knew how to fulfill them perfectly. But think about the prophecies about himself that he made, that he would die by crucifixion and that he would arise 3 days later after being in the grave. Those are prophecies that you would have no external source to know about or to come up with. I mean, the exact way he died and the exact date that he would resurrect, he predicted that. So, again, and that's not just some lunatic. He clearly knew what was going to happen. So there has to be, I would think, some merit to that. So I think I'm going to end this video here because I want to get some discussions going. What are some other facts that I missed that you know of? Do you believe that Jesus is God? Do you not believe? Did this video help you at all? Just anything you guys want to talk about to get some discussion going, feel free to comment. And I hope we have some wonderful discussions. And as always, guys, I love you all so much, and God bless.